and got a phone call from someone I knew from my residency days in Cleveland, and he said, "Do you realize that a company making almost half of the intravenous fluids in the United States has a product out there that's contaminated with bacteria?" And I said, "Yeah, but I assumed it was about to be recalled." And he said, "No, that's why I'm calling you."
IV fluids manufactured by Abbott were causing blood infections and killing people. But the FDA didn't launch a recall because Abbott said doing so would create a shortage, killing even more people.
The first thing I did was to call all the other major IV fluid manufacturers and said, "How many bottles, thousands of bottles, do you have on stock?" And it was clear that Abbott had lied to the government and the government had believed them, because there was more than enough IV fluids to go around so that there would be no way that there would be any kind of shortage of fluids.
So Sid and Ralph wrote a letter to the FDA using what became their trademark language, describing the failure to withdraw these IVs as shockingly irresponsible, cowardly, and a gross dereliction of duty.
2 days after our letter, which was delivered to the press, they recalled all the fluids in the United States.
After this victory, Sid and Ralph recognized that they'd hit on something, and there was a lot more work to do.
When Sid and I decided to start the Health Research Group, it was to monitor the Food and Drug Administration and the medical profession and hospitals.
We've tried to get 33 different prescription drugs taken off the market. 23 of them are off the market. Drugs like Darvon, like Bextra, like Reslin, the diabetes drug.
Sid was at times, maybe often, a thorn in the side of the FDA. After he left the NIH and joined Public Citizen, he became the bane of many of the people in the regulatory community.
He is the bane of the pharmaceutical industry. He has spent 30-some years exposing problems with drugs in the drug industry and with the Food and Drug Administration that regulates it.
Sid Wolfe says that was too little, too late, and yet another misstep by the FDA.
I've never seen an example in the 30 years I've been monitoring the FDA where the FDA has waited till the product is all but gone from the shelves before doing anything. So if FDA was primarily interested in public health, if there was any question, a reasonable question about safety, they would take the drug off the market. Instead, just the reverse is true. If there's any question, they defer on the side of the industry.
Sid's work made an immense difference, saving thousands and thousands of lives, preventing untold number of injuries and illnesses, and empowering consumers with information they could use. With his colleagues, Sid helped force 28 dangerous drugs off the market and added warnings to dozens more. He pushed OSHA, the Worker Health and Safety Agency, to set more than a dozen workplace health standards. He advocated for decades against the deadly dangers of opioids and demanded accountability for the corporate CEOs who fueled the addiction epidemic.
These are hugely dangerous corporate drug pushers being treated gently. I mean, they are paying up a fraction of the amount of money that they sold in OxyContin. Nobody seems to be going to jail. Something's wrong with that picture.
And he sold millions of copies of his groundbreaking book, Worst Pills, Best Pills, which provides consumers with indispensable information about the side effects of medications.
His legacy is that he kept people's feet to the fire to do the right thing. He's going to be remembered for somebody who gave it his all and did his best to make sure that the health of the American public was being protected and they were not being abused, either by complicity of the regulatory agency with the pharmaceutical companies or what have you.
He leaves behind for like-minded successors an enormous legacy, steeped in thousands of newsletters, releases, testimonies, litigation, advisories, and many, many victories.
Sid valued the lives of the people he was helping, people he didn't know who were being injured or would have been injured by Big Pharma's negligence or corruption, as much as the people he did know. So he brought an intensity to the work he did, and that intensity has become part of what Public Citizen is and will be.
I've been here for about 40 years. I told Mr. Nader after several months that it would probably be the last job I ever had in my life, and happily, I was right.
If you weren't afraid of him and intimidated by him, you always loved him, because deep down behind that strength of putting your feet to the fire, he was really quite a lovable guy.
We have an obligation to highlight not only his many legacies, but to extend his mission